Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentleman.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue The president's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would be a
can't?
gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse.
President-
A presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or
Ah,
at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that
The
committee?
seeking of pardons is
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators thinking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The
of a
audacity!
president who's so clearly
The
concerned about his own
audacity!
criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Stably, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
At the end of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
That's me! Yeah, I'm here. Did I change the thumbnail? I think I did. All right, good. There you go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight, on the internet with not a whole lot of plan today, other than got a lot of trending stuff that we can talk about. But it's Hump Day, and every once in a while, I tell you that I can't scroll on Hump Day, the Hump Day topics on Twitter, but we're going to scroll for a short bit just to entertain Avocados Diabli, just because, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Fortunately, most of the body parts are covered, and if I come across one that's not, well, we'll make sure that doesn't happen. But for whatever reason, I thought, maybe if I put some TNA in the thumbnails, we'll get more people tuning in, wondering what the hell is this? So anyway, that's why... and that's not even the whole picture. I'm telling you. So anyway, why? I don't know, because I got home late and I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm late. Later than normal. But I said, if I put a whole bunch of stuff together, then it's going to take me another half hour, because it usually takes me about a half hour to prep up this show. So anyway, happy Hump Day and happy Wednesday, happy middle of the week, whatever you want to call it. So, hi. And let's get this thing started. Let's get it started by saying hi to everybody. First in the chat today is Mr. Avocados Diabli. Oh my gosh. And yes, I do have a license for that bell, sir. Because in Minnesota, you have to have a license for just about everything. Excuse me. There's a tax for everything. Also, good morning, Kara Soldier. What's up? JB's in the house. Resolute Germ. Also, Lewis is here early. Nice to have you. Pope's here. The Pope Tyrannius, the third, the blessed Lich. Blessed of the divine dead be upon you, and all my children rejoice for this day that the holy undead hath made. I just read the whole damn thing this time, didn't I? Also, good morning, Cashapp. What up, Kirsten? How you doing? Also, Blue-Eyed Scream, TC's in the house. My favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony. Green Badger Outdoors. Select a boy here bright and early. Yeah, also, good morning to Reaction Puerto Rico. Oh, and Horatio's in the house. What up, Nelson's TAS and Game Archive? What up, man? Sadly, I woke up early to get off work. So I'm awake in here. Well, that's the beautiful thing, man. Come on now. It's always a pleasure when you bring your presence upon us. Anyway, 70 people, 4 likes. That's not very good. Come on, hit the damn like button. Why do I got to remind you every day? Anyway, I appreciate that. Wait, I was talking to JB, not you. Wait, what? About what? Where? As close as my shave with all 8 inches of beard. You have an 8-inch beard? Wow, that's impressive. Mine is, well, obviously I trim this all the time. Oh, about the license. Oh, I see. The bell. Okay. Well, I still going to answer that question. I do have a license for the bell. Anyway, so let's just talk about stuff. It is Hump Day. Let's just get into it right now, because I don't have anything else to preface this with. I am going to start posting some of a lot of this vacation video stuff on Marty's Big Journey. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I'm going to put those links in the chat again too. Marty's Big Journey and Marty Got Jokes. If you'd like to go look, I'm going to tell you this. I'm at a little bit of a loss right now, because for over a year, it took me over a year. The cards that my daughter gave me for my 60th birthday. She gave me it ended up being 67, including the one she added on my birthday this year. She gave me all these cards. One was a birthday card and the rest were dad jokes. And I opened them with random people in all sorts of cool places and all sorts of zany things. And they were just dad jokes. And some of them were funny and some of them were bombs. And some of the bombs were even better than the funny ones. So if you want to watch that is over on Marty Got Jokes. The Marty, where is that? There we go. Where's Marty Got Jokes? There we go. I'm going to put links to those channels in the links again today if you'd like to join those channels, and just some lighthearted fun. And then Marty's Big Journey is just travels and general stuff that I do that has nothing to do with this particular channel. So and there's not a ton of stuff in there, just mostly shorts and video of what the different places we've gone that are cool and fun and, you know, whatever. So there you go. Let's get into the show. Oh, we're running again. For some reason, there is something out there blooming or throwing off some kind of stuff that is causing my allergies to kick in. And I usually don't have summer allergies. I usually have spring allergies and occasionally fall allergies, but that's mostly dust. And for whatever reason, that's it. All right. And so if my nose is running and they're called flowers. Yeah, I know, but usually the flowers don't bother me. It's usually the early season pollen that bothers me. Anyway, thanks to the people who shared the show. Let's start with that. First, what's that? Wait. Did I repost that? I didn't mean to repost that. Anyway, people who shared the show, including JB with the big Let's Go. If you haven't hit the Let's Go or the like button, get on it. There's a Let's. I don't know what this is. Is this from a samurai movie? I can't tell. And then this wrestler I don't know. Thank you, Resolute Germ, for the Let's Go. Oh, I forgot. I got to do the. I'm going to repost all these too. So we'll repost them while I'm talking about them. And again, another wrestler I don't know, probably beyond the era that I know, but she's all right. You know, she's all right. That fits in with Hump Day. Then, Tyre Alexander with the daily woo, Ric Flair. We got our Ric Flair. You know, Ric Flair is an interesting individual. Asuka. Okay, that's Asuka. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Asuka. There's Asuka again. And then Ric Flair. Everyone knows who Ric Flair is. You should. If you don't know who Ric Flair is, oh my God, where you been? And TC dropping his own tweet of the show. Appreciate that, as always. I meant to like it and repost it. There we go. And who else did this? Wait, that didn't stop. Go back. And a little Soul Train. Let's go from Green Badger Outdoors. And then we got people who tweeted the show. Reaction Puerto Rico and JB and Tyre Alexander and Resolute Germ and K Shaw, aka Kirsten Shull. Nice to have you. And then there we go, little Harley Quinn in the Let's Go, giving us a little sexy look there. Yeah, a little sexy stuff there. We have our first sponsor today, Gunfox61. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Dropping a Hamilton and some U.S. News DOT rules hit. Oh, the Department of Transportation. I bet is this about truckers needing to know English? It's supposed to. Truckers are supposed to know English. Let's go start with that, since it's news, and then we'll get into the trending topics. We'll do the news first. So, Gunfox61 has successfully hijacked the show. Kind of like truckers being hijacked. Anyway, so here we go. Starting this week, truckers can be taken out of service for lack of English proficiency. Did you know that was a DOT rule for all over-the-road truckers, that you have to know English in the United States to be an over-the-road trucker? Well, this week, commercial vehicle drivers are to be placed out of service for failure to meet English language proficiency standards. On Wednesday, June 25th, that would be today, non-compliance with the existing federal regulation requiring ELP for commercial vehicle drivers is an out-of-service violation, according to the guidance issued by the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance in May. Transportation Secretary Duffy has announced new guidelines to enhance enforcement of English proficiency for commercial truck drivers. Under the president's leadership, we are improving highway safety by ensuring every driver is qualified and proficient in English, our national language. Now, he's going to get people mad for saying that, because technically we don't have a national language, but we do have a requirement that commercial truck drivers in the United States have English proficiency, particularly for being able to read the fucking road signs. So there you go. The CVSA added English proficiency to the agency's North American standard out-of-service criteria following a White House executive order calling for increased enforcement of federal English language requirements for truck drivers. The EO executive order called for agencies to rescind the 2016 Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration memo that directed enforcement not to place truck drivers out of service for ELP violations. Now, how will officers check for English language proficiency? That's a good question. Good morning, Darren Root, by the way. How you doing? Let's see, what is it? Starting on June 25th, to avoid being placed out of service, drivers must be able to read and speak the English language sufficiently to converse with the general public, to understand highway traffic signs and signals in the English language, and to respond to official inquiries and make entries on reports and records. Because your truck records need to be in English for the trucker people who regulate the truckers, I guess. The FMCSA recently issued guidance for law enforcement and safety officers on how to determine whether a commercial vehicle driver is proficient in the English language during a roadside or way station inspections. The agency laid out following two-step language assessment process. 1, driver interview. 2, highway traffic sign recognition assessment. And this is from the FMCSA. Again, that is the, what is it called? The federal, what's the wait, no, that's CVSA. Federal, is that the FC? What is the FMCSA? I missed that one. Oh, here we go. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. So the driver interview. The policy advises FMCSA personnel to initiate all roadside inspections in English. If the inspector's initial contact with the driver indicates the driver may not understand the inspector's initial instructions, the inspector should conduct an ELP assessment in order to evaluate the driver's compliance with the regulation number right there. I'm not going to read that out. Driver interview, determining the driver's ability to respond sufficiently to official inquiries. The inspector should evaluate the driver's ability to respond sufficiently to official inquiries and directions in English as required by 49 SC, the number of the regulation. Because the driver interview is a means of establishing the driver's ability to respond to official inquiries by speaking English sufficiently, the inspector should inform the driver that the driver should respond to the inspector in English. Tools to facilitate communication, such as interpreters, iSpeak cards, cue cards, smartphone applications, and on-call telephone interpretation services, should not be used during the driver interview, as those tools may mask a driver's ability to communicate in English. If the inspector determines the driver is unable to respond to official inquiries in English sufficiently, it is the policy of the FMCSA that the inspector cite the driver for a violation. And then the second part, they need to be able to read traffic signs. So that, that just seems like it would be a requirement, for that, and it is. So that is the law. Thank you, GunFox61, for hijacking the show with that news. Thank you very much. Also, thank you, Avocados Diablo, sponsored the show, dropping a small bolt in the tip jar, who says, seriously, someone so dumb as to not intuitively know how they will test for proficiency in English? Clearly, you could tell by simply talking to them. Well, there you go. That's what they're going to do. They're going to talk to them, usually in way stations and inspections and shit like that. But what's interesting is I have seen, in Minnesota, we have a ton of Somalian peoples, because a lot of this, almost, let's say, I think 80% of the Somalian population in the United States live here in the Twin Cities. There's about 80,000 in the Twin Cities. And, but most of them all know English enough proficiently. And I've seen a bunch of Somalian truck drivers, and they seem to do all right. The problem is, I know that there's an issue in some states where somehow, some way, there have been some illegal aliens who have been found to drive trucks and sometimes cause accidents, and and sometimes they don't know English, and they're like, what the fuck, what are you even driving a truck here for? And then you find out they don't have a license, so they probably got some shit on the side and whatever. Anyway, and believe me, it's not just Hispanic people. See, when I say illegal aliens, I don't always mean Hispanic people. There's people from 137 countries they found people came across the border. I mean, that's almost the entire world. There's illegal aliens from here. So anyway, Somalis were brought by Slick Willie. Yeah, yes, they were. We have a huge Somali population, and we have a huge Hmong population from the 80s. And in fact, there's a bunch of Hmong people who used to play basketball with us at the community center here in my town. And some of them could really hoop, but they were all really short. But could they hoop? They were good basketball players. Anyway, that's just because they play basketball all the time. But anyway, so there you go. Thank you, GunFox61. All right, let's get into the regular show. Of course, today it's a trending topic, so obviously Hump Day is trending. Hump Day as usual. And the top one here, I'm just going to start with this one here. Since no one seems to know where Travis Decker, the accused child killer, is, we need to keep his picture circulating. It seems like it's going to be up to citizens to spot him and report him. Please share and get the word out. And oh, happy Hump Day. Well, that's not a very happy Hump Day message, but there's a $20,000 reward for this guy. And I hadn't even heard about this. The United States Marshal Service is offering a reward of up to $20,000 for information directly leading to Decker's arrest. Travis Decker is suspected of kidnapping and murdering his 3 young daughters. Oh my God. Peyton Decker, 9, Evelyn Decker, 8, and Olivia Decker, 5. The U.S. Marshal Service is offering a reward of up to $20,000 for information directly leading to Decker's arrest. The suspect should be considered armed and dangerous. Do not approach. He's a former Army soldier with extensive training. And I hope they find this fucker. Fuck this guy. Hello, John Arnott, by the way. So anyway, if this is him, and I don't know, the problem is it doesn't say what part of the country he might be in. But here are some pictures of him. He's got significant tattoos on his arm and on his calf. But these are just some really gritty pictures. So if you happen to see this gentleman, do not approach. Call the authorities. I'm not sure where he's supposed to be, though. Then, of course, we got the Mike on Hump Day. I'm going to put that Travis Decker one as a separate link. There we go. And circulate that around. Let's retweet that too. I'll just retweet it. And then as I said earlier, normally on the Hump Day topics on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, I tend not to scroll because of fear of body parts, but it will explain the thumbnail today. And I'm doing this purely for scientific purposes. And for advocacy outlet, because he likes this kind of shit. I'm going to scroll until I start seeing a body part that I'm not supposed to see. And then we'll just, because I've been always say this to you guys. And I think I did get in trouble for this once. Because I accidentally scrolled through some uncovered body parts. And I had to delete that part of the video. But I'm going to just scroll because happy Hump Day. This is the kind of shit you get on Hump Day on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. So then you got Steffi here, who's in the thumbnail. Happy Hump Day, guys. Are you following me? No, I'm not. I'm happily married. I'm staying away from that all I can. That's just strictly, this is science. And then we got, again, the reward here. Wait, is this the right one? Oh, yeah, it is. And then as we scroll here, we got the Travis Decker and Mike. But then this one, it's covered so you don't get in trouble for it. Again, why do people like to show off body parts during Hump Day? I'll scroll a little more. Let's see. This one is, I received a great feedback. I'm posting something about the state every day. So here we go. Hunt for real diamonds at Crater Diamond State Park in Arkansas, the world's only public diamond mine. Digging a 3. Okay, there's a public diamond mine in Arkansas. That's interesting. Then I scroll. Okay, this is safe still. This is me wondering if I looked fat while he had me folded up like that. Oh my God. That's one of those, where you just got to play music. Okay, I'll stop. And then this one, again, it's safe. She's actually covered, nothing that's illegal on YouTube yet on this. So I'll scroll slowly through that one. And then we got the camel, and I'm still safe. I don't know what this one is. Good morning, kittens. I would like to wish you each a happy Hump Day. That means different things to different people, whatever that means. I hope your day is fantastic. Y'all be good out there and stay sexy. Okay, I'm hoping that's just a boring GIF. What is that? Okay, that's safe. And here again, another one. Good Wednesday morning, Patriots. Happy Hump Day. Guy out in his boat. Now that's the kind of shit I like. Well, I like boats, but look how clean that water is. That's amazing. And then me when my alarm wakes me up, let the potato rest for 5 minutes. And then again, safe so far. This is close, but no cigar. Safe still for YouTube. And then, okay, there. And then I think the next one I can't. No, that one's safe. Whip It Good. Yeah, that's safe. Correct that whip. Give the pass a slap. Anyway, and then the next one I can't show because it's boobies. So there you go. That's as far as I can scroll on Hump Day for scientific purposes. So there you go. It's roughly 19 accounts posting the 19th one. Boobies. Can't show them. So there you go. All right. Also today, holiday. Hello. Good morning, Black Keepers. You're light.
That's right.
Holidays. Today is the holiday. P is such a cock tease. No, I can't show that shit on YouTube. I'm very careful. All right. Today is okay. This is significant. Today is National Color TV Day. Now, being of the age I am, I remember when my parents finally bought a frickin' color TV. It was like 1970-ish, 3-ish or something like that. Because I remember watching All in the Family and Good Times and all those shows in color. But National Color TV Day, June 25th, 1947, the Diary of Anne Frank is published. Wait, that's not it. Here it is. That's not what I meant to do. Here it is. National Color TV Day. Image and motion mid-journey. Below is a list of some of the national, international, global, and local observances for June 25th, 25. Let's just do Color TV Day, though. Color TV Day marks the first color TV broadcast on June 25th, 1951 by CBS, celebrating technological advances in visual media. The first color TV broadcast was seen by few, with only about 30 prototype receivers in New York, highlighting early adoption challenges. So it took a long time for people to get color TVs. I mean, getting a color TV in the 70s was kind of a big deal because a lot of people were getting their first color TVs. If you had a color TV in the 60s, you were probably really wealthy. But the public masses, lowlifes of the rest of us really didn't start getting color TVs into the 70s. If you remember your family owning a black and white TV, let's see, because people still even we still had black and white TVs up until the 80s because the other TVs in our house were all black and white. But if you remember your family going from a black and white TV to a color TV, put a Y in the chat in whatever form you choose. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty cool. Also today's celebrity birthday, the late, great George Michael would have been 62 this year. He's just a year older than me. Great singer, great performer, and had one of the best hairdos in music history when he was with Wham. But very talented gentleman, and so we celebrate George Michael's birthday. George... what's that? Why is that thing? Happy heavenly birthday to George Michael. His album Faith debuted, solo LP in 1987. 9 tracks: Faith, Father Figure, I Want Your Sex, One More Try, Hard Day, Hand to Mouth, Look at Your Hands, Monkey, and Kissing a Fool. So anyway, happy birthday, George Michael. Careless. Yeah, and everyone hears that sax solo from Careless Whisper, but they never really play the song. I've been so unsure. Yeah, he's gay. Who cares? He was a great singer. The dude could sing his ass off. I don't give a fuck if he's gay. Anyway, next. What else? All right. Also, it's NBA Draft Day. Yippee. If you're into hoops, the Dallas Mavericks get the first pick in the NBA draft. Of course, I don't know how that happened. They got rid of Luka Doncic, and he's with the Lakers, and now so somehow Dallas got the first pick. It's almost like that was rigged for the Dallas Mavericks because they were not the worst team in the league this year, but they got it. All right, nobody cares. Moving on. What else is going on? Oh, And it also, did I even have that on the screen? Did I ever even put that on the screen? I didn't. NBA draft day. There we go. So there's the draft order. If you are a basketball fan, this might be interesting to you. The first picks in the NBA draft this year go to the Dallas Mavericks, the San Antonio Spurs, Philadelphia 76ers, Charlotte Hornets, and the Utah Jazz, and so on and so forth. The last picks in the first round are the Clippers, the Suns, the Celtics, and Brooklyn with 2 in a row. I think Brooklyn gets like 5 picks in the first round this year because they've been trading stuff. So if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, you might get some talent. But I wonder who the Mavericks are going to take. Anyone a basketball fan who knows who the Mavericks might take? Could it be that the dude from Duke, the superstar kid, this kid? I can't remember. Why can't I think of his name? These young men are all about to become millionaires, though. Yippee. No, some white guy. No, it's this guy. What's his name? Shit. Let's see if I can find his name. I can't remember the kid's name, but he's going to be the first pick. This guy, Cooper Flagg. He will be the number 1 pick, most likely. Means he's going to be. So Dallas will be replacing one white guy with another white guy. But he's not a token. This dude is the best player in college basketball. In fact, when he was 17, they had the Olympic trials. They brought in a bunch of college players, but they brought him in with them. And he was dominating NBA players. The dude is just a hooper. Anyway, if you're into basketball, you know who that is. Moving on. Let's see. Speaking of sports, now this is shocking news in the world of sports. Shocking news in the world of sports. Switzerland. Why I'm thinking about Switzerland. Switzerland is in the news. Why? Because the Switzerland's women's world, basically national soccer team, got their ass kicked by a 15U team in a pre-Euro 2025 friendly. Now, so here it is. Switzerland, the women's national football team, as in football where you kick a ball with your feet, preparing for the Women's Euro 2025, encountered an unexpected setback with a 7-1 loss to Luzern's U15 team in a friendly match. This wasn't even an all-star team. This was just a local team. This defeat has sparked a wide-ranging discussion on social media and among sports analysts about gender equality in sports. There is no gender equality in sports, except maybe darts or bowling or something. There's not even gender equality in bowling, even although there are some really good women bowlers. Particularly focused on the debate over equal pay. Critics argue that such results might challenge the basis for equal compensation, suggesting that salaries should reflect performance and revenue. Of course they should reflect revenue. It's entertainment. Sports is nothing. Sports is not a job. It's entertainment, and entertainers should be paid on what money they bring in, not just because they're doing that particular game. Anyway, conversely, supporters of women's football emphasize that the sport should be evaluated on its own merits. Yeah, and not in comparison to men's football. Right, it should be, especially pay and revenue. But it's funny how you want to compare yourself to men's sports when you want money, but not when you compare it on its own and the revenue it generates. The match, intended to be a private affair, was inadvertently publicized when a young player shared the details on social media. As Switzerland gears up to host the Euros, the European tournament, starting with their match against Norway at St. Jacob Park. This loss serves as a poignant reminder of the ongoing discussions between the valuation and support of women's sports. Look, enjoy women's sports for what they are. Women playing women in sports. And sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes it's not at the level that you expect or you'd see for the men, but it is what it is, right? And if you like watching women running around in the field, in fact, this is the picture that they featured for this story on Football Talk, which is apparently a soccer handle on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And this young lady seems very dismayed And I'm surprised how much makeup she's wearing to play football. Anyway, the Switzerland women's national team, ranked 23rd in the world, lost 7-1 in a friendly match against Luzern's U15 boys team. So they keep showing pictures of her. And there she is again. Apparently, she's not only somewhat attractive, but she also is good at soccer, I guess. But they got their butts kicked by the 15-year-old boys. So there you go. Actually, 15 and under. So some of them may be 14. Some might have even been 13. But yeah, good on the boys team. All right, next. What else we got? By the way, is there anyone here who's new in the chat? Like they're new watching this show that just happened to click the link because of the lovely young lady in the thumbnail? I'm just curious. And we only have 7 likes so far. Come on. Hit the like button. I have got to say, that's too much information. That's too much information. Wait, that woman is not looking very Swiss. Wait a minute. She's not? What do you mean she's not looking very Swiss? Where is it? Where is she at? She doesn't look Swiss? She does have that kind of Eastern European thing going on, doesn't she? Oh, you can't see this. I'm going to put her back on the screen here. She kind of has an Eastern European thing going on, and also the painted on eyebrows. I don't ever understood that. But then again, as you scroll, she it doesn't seem like they have the painted on eyebrows are as profound here, but she does look kind of Eastern European. Anyway, all I could see was the top of her head at the time. What the hell's that? There's a moth on my screen. What the hell? You can only see the top of her head at the time. Hubba hubba. All right, next. NATO's trending. And the reason it's trending is because people are trying to figure out what the fuck is Volodymyr Zelensky doing at the NATO summit. There's a picture of the people all at the NATO summit. And like, what the hell is he doing there? Why is he at the NATO summit? Ukraine's not part of NATO. Women getting beaten by men. Shocker. Yeah, it's not a shocker. Yeah, why is Volodymyr Zelensky at the NATO summit? Anybody know? So lots of people ask the same question. Why is this little Napoleon allowed to be at the NATO meetings, let alone in this pic? Send Zelensky packing. Again, who invited Zelensky? President Trump proudly representing the United States at the NATO summit in The Hague, Netherlands, standing tall during the family photo with the world's leaders. This shows American strength and leadership on the global stage. Well, that's because it shows that they're part of NATO. But good. Anyway, the NATO summit's going on. They're probably talking about whether or not. Did you? By the way, I saw somebody complaining today. So we had this, little the kerfluffle with Iran, where, and someone was complaining that one of the reasons we may have attacked Iran is because Donald Trump apparently is building a new golf course in Iran. And they've already completed the first 3 holes. I'll be here all show. Okay, so anyway, NATO summit. What's next? New York. Oh, good God. So we were talking about the New York elections, mayoral elections yesterday. And so apparently the, what do they call these people? The Democratic Socialists. This socialist Muslim guy won the New York primary. Now, he did not get 50% of the vote. 14 bombs were dropped, but in just 3 holes. I'm going to avoid the normal reference I would have there. Anyway, apparently this what's his name? Mandami is leading. Now, he didn't get 50% of the vote, so I guess they have to do a runoff election. Mario Cuomo came in 2nd place, and somebody else came in 3rd. By the way, the current mayor, why I'm blanking on his name, is going to run as an independent. And Cuomo has said if he does not get the Democrat nomination, he's also going to run as an independent. So there's going to be like 4 or 5 candidates on the final ballot. But for now, this Mondami guy until they have a runoff in the Democratic primary. Mary Adams. He's the leading candidate. Now, somebody said you shouldn't be eligible to run for public office unless you're a natural born citizen of the United States. Well, that doesn't matter in cities. And but so a lot of things are trending because of this New York election. Someone said, can I ask everybody in New York City that voted for Mondami if you forgot September 11th? You're literally begging for the cult who destroyed your city and took out thousands of lives to destroy it finally once and for all. Well, look, I don't think Mondami, I think he's lived here most of his life. But there's still concerns because he's the far left wing nutjob candidate, and it's like in a lot of these cities in Great Britain in particular, where all of these cities have Muslim mayors. I don't know if I'm not going to say that's bad or good, but it is what it is. Imagine Islamists attacking your city in 9/11 and your dumbass votes for another one to be your fucking mayor. Fuck New York City. That's what this lady says. Some mayor breaking suburban black man endorses Curtis Sliwa as mayor of New York City. Refund the New York Police Department, bring back anti-crime gang units, and cashless bail for violent offenders, clean up homelessness and restore order, reform your city's predatory tax system, make New York City great again. Well, it's too late for that. So anyway, a lot of people have some frets. So other things trending because of it. NYPD, some people are saying that the NYPD, if he becomes mayor, should resign as the day he's sworn in. Because someone here says, I'm hearing a lot of my NYPD friends are ready to turn in their badge and gun and take early retirement. Basically, because this guy's is big time anti-cop. Hello, Jethro Hedower, by the way. He looks like if he took a trip to Palestine, he would have to throw himself off a building. Not necessarily. Anyway, but this is why they're concerned. This is this guy's post from, I don't know when it's from. We don't need an investigation to know that the NYPD is racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety. Well, is it? So I'm curious how he plans on working with police. In fact, he's one of these advocates for having like non-police entities, NGOs or whatever, going in and negotiating when there's a big thing going on and we just don't understand the criminal. And, so he's basically going to get people shot. But anyway, losers tonight, the working class of New York City, the Jews of New York City, the NYPD, the future of New York City, the traditional Democratic Party, and America. Oh, somebody's really upset about this, I understand. But here it is. Again, this is another thing why they say the NYPD should start quitting. So here it is. We can't reform our way out of a racist police system that's working exactly as designed as a means of control over black and brown New Yorkers. Oh, good Lord. We need to dramatically curtail the power and presence of the NYPD. $1 billion in cuts over 4 years is only the first step towards that goal. Well, New York, you're about to get what you asked for, and you may be regretting it. Someone who says Adams will need to step up big time. The anti-American socialist candidate has the backing of the evil Democrat machine, so time for Adams to remind New Yorkers of what New York City really is. Support the NYPD, love our country, and never forget 9/11. Oh my God, Cynthia Nixon is a Mondami. Oh, let's see what Cynthia Nixon. You don't remember her? She's from, what's that show? Sex and the City? She was the, I was going to say she was the ugly one. She's not ugly. She's just not, the others were fairly more attractive. But anyway, here's Cynthia Nixon talking about Mondami.
It is election day. I'm
on
my way to vote.
Look how excited she is.
I don't know that I have ever been more excited to vote for anyone than I am to vote for Zohran Mamdani. I've got my button. I've got
course.
My Don't Rank Cuomo.
Don't show us your tits. Come on.
Because I'm going to a polling site. Zohran 1, Brad 2, Adrian 3, Stringer 4.
So she's anybody
Michael
but
Blake,
Cuomo.
5. And whatever you do, don't rank Cuomo.
Look, I understand why there's a large number who were like, Andrew Cuomo's running? That motherfucker's got some balls because he's got problems. He is sexually harassing people. That's why he got thrown out of governor. But he's got the balls to come and try to run as mayor in New York City. But again, Was he a terrible governor? I don't even know, kind of. A lot of people died during COVID because of him. But anyway, but a lot of lefties do not want Cuomo for any reason whatsoever, and I kind of get it.
Vote for Jumaane. Vote for Justin Brannan. We have a chance to make sure that our corrupt, sexual harassing, Trump donor supported disgraced former governor.
No. Trump supporting what? Why? Who the fuck thinks that anyone who likes Trump wants Andrew Cuomo to be mayor? You got to be kidding me.
Not elected mayor of New York, and we have a chance.
Oh my God. You're nuts.
The polling site now. We have a chance.
This tells me how nuts she is.
To have fast free buses, to have rent.
Fast free buses. Is that what they're going to do now?
Stabilized apartments with the rent frozen. We have subsidized
rent control, which basically ruins your supply of. Oh my God, she's in a rent control. Hello, Willie. Willie is in the chat.
Grocery stores.
Wait, what did she say?
Free child with the rent frozen. We have subsidized grocery stores.
Subsidized grocery stores for who? Oh my God.
And we have free child care from ages 6 months to 5 years.
Free child care. Who's paying for this?
Trump, and we will have a guy who creates a city for all of us. Make sure you vote today and don't rank Cuomo.
Okay, so that's that crazy lady. So anyway, also trending because of this is London, because people see what's happening in London. And if you're an American citizen and live in New York City, for the sake of your city and your children, do not vote for this man. Islamic socialist Zoran Mandani is now in first place in the New York mayoral election. He will turn New York City into London. What's this here? What's he say? What are you saying here?
Alhamdulillah, there are 1 million Muslims in this city. 200,000 of us are registered to vote as Democrats. In the last election, only 7% of us voted. Now, I will not blame
he's going to pull out the Muslim
it
vote.
Feels like there isn't much to vote for.
I wonder if at this primary, if the Jewish Democrats, because Jewish, again, New York City has the largest Jewish population of any city in the world other than Tel Aviv. Are they going to vote for Mandani? Some will, because some are left-wing lunatics, just like in any other demographic. But the Jews in New York are not, they've kind of had their eyes open to a lot of things in the last several years. And so there are a lot who voted for Trump too. Hello, number one.
But this June 24th, with early voting starting tomorrow, it is an opportunity. An opportunity for us to show that Muslims don't just belong in New York City, we also belong in City Hall. Because yesterday I stood on the debate, and Andrew Cuomo stood next to me. And here was a man who was the governor for a decade, and he could not name a single mosque he had ever visited. He could not name it because he does not care.
Okay, is that, look, I think if mayors are going to visit religious institutions, they should, visit the spread of institutions, including the mosque, and try to, try to find out what's going on in some of the mosques. But anyway, the ceiling fan is fuck with me. Half of it disappears. Oh, yeah, it does in that. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's just the way the video is. Also trending socialism, because this guy is absolutely a socialist. Someone says, here are 3 simple facts about socialism. Socialism is morally wrong. It is politically authoritarian. It's economically impossible. John Stossel, socialist, a socialist is likely to be New York City's next mayor. He makes economically ignorant promises like free busing and city-run grocery stores. Voters should listen to Gloria Alvarez. She's experienced socialism the first hand. I'm not going to play this because it's 28 minutes long, but I'm going to leave a link to this. It's very good, and I think you should watch it. But yeah, because of him, someone here, Valentina Gomez says, Sharia law and socialism is coming to New York City very soon. Now, Valentina Gomez is a nut job, as far as I'm concerned, even though she purports to be on the right. Let this serve as a lesson what's coming if we don't put a stop to the Islamization of Texas. Okay, that's of Texas. I don't know what the hell's that about. Anyway, lots of people are comparing London and New York City now that they have someone leading in the primary as a Muslim. Sharia is also trending because of this. Never forget AOC was campaigning for Sharia law in New York City. Is this real? Oh, because she campaigned for this jackhole. Hang on here. Let's. Is this real? This looks like AI. And why is it?
Supporting Zohran, and we all support Zohran because supporting Zohran is a vote for a New York for all of us. Make sure you vote early, June 14th, or you can vote on election day, June 24th.
So probably a lot of her Brooklyn.
Ocasio-Cortez y Nidia Velázquez estamos rankeando a Zohran Mamdani número uno para la ciudad de Nueva York.
Both of these congresswomen have been inspirations in the fight for working people across this city and across this country. And what New Yorkers are looking for is a mayor who will actually fight for them. And to have the endorsements of two who have taken on those same corrupt insider politics, those same Donald Trump supporting billionaires, the same politics that got us the supportability crisis, it is a testament to what this campaign is building and is one we're going to win together on June 24th.
Anyway, he's promising a lot of free shit, basically. Thank you, Horatio Nelson, dropping a $2.22 in the tip jar. Thank you very much. Who says no immigrants or their children should be permitted to hold any form of office in the United States, period. This camel jockey, oh my God. I'm just reading it, YouTube. This camel jockey hasn't even been in the USA for a decade, yet we are letting him run for office in the most important city in the union, infested with traitors. Yeah, I mean, you got a point there. I don't know. You know, look, I don't care if immigrants or their children run for office. I have a problem with but then again, you've got what's the one woman who's in Congress that was born in Ukraine. I mean, she's on the right. She shouldn't be able to either. You don't think Vivek Ramaswamy, who is a natural born citizen, should be able to run for office? I don't have a problem I just think people who are anti-American or anti-American, economic system should be able to run for office, but they should get, it's not that they shouldn't be able to get, run for office, but they should get soundly defeated if they suck. And unfortunately, this guy sucks. Yeah, he sucks. So now, interestingly enough, this has Rudy Giuliani trending also, which this is kind of a good point. 2 decades, New York City went from this to that, from Giuliani to this dude, the consequences of mass migration from shitholes. Someone else says New York is toast. So here's some ideas that this Zohran has. We will support existing decarceral legislation that will, 1, end the cash bail. That's stupid. Repeal the walking while trans ban. There is no such thing. Decriminalize sex work. If you want a proliferation of prostitution in your city, legalize marijuana. Well, that's everyone's doing that. Nobody gives a fuck. Permit safe injection sites. Oh my God. Enabling drug users. Restrict solitary confinement. That's probably not a terrible one. Enact elder parole. Why? Oh, because they're old, they're not criminals anymore, maybe. Define elder. Re-enfranchise incarcerated New Yorkers. So we want felons to vote. Anyway, someone here says, born as a raised New Yorker who lived through the 20 glorious years of Giuliani and Bloomberg governance, and regardless of what you think of Bloomberg as being kind of a dickhead, he was a pretty good mayor of New York. And look, really, Rudy Giuliani especially, really revived New York from the 70s shithole that it became into, again, a glowing, prosperous, beautiful city, at least in the, as much as it can be. Times Squares used to be full of, nudie movie theaters and fucking prostitution. Turned Times Square back into one of the cooler places in the United States. And between Giuliani and Bloomberg, New York City thrived and was, a cultural icon again. And now it's kind of going backwards, and especially since de Blasio, Eric Adams, I don't know if he's improved things, but just because of the crime, it's kind of going back to that shithole it was in the 70s. And so is this going to cause even more damage, or is this socialist paradise that this guy promises going to make New York City better? It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, hopefully he loses. That's what I gotta say. Times Square was at its coolest when you could get a hooker and a fix for $15. Well, then you enjoyed the 70s New York or Times Square. Somebody in the world's financial capital is flirting with electing a cartoon socialist. Meanwhile, in Argentina, the people are seeing Millei's market antidote to the decades of failed Peronist socialism working and are rallying behind it. Make it make sense. Yeah, make it make sense. I'm just saying. All right. The only other couple things that were trending that I wasn't paying attention to earlier was Joy Reid is trending. Apparently, Joy Reid was on This Is CNN because Joy Reid doesn't have a job anymore, so now she can go be a pundit other places. I thought she got fired at MSNBC because she wasn't all that great.
Extraordinary.
Shut up.
We are
it did it again. I hate when that happens. Hang on.
The tactical.
Let me refresh here. So I don't know why Joy Reid is trending, but let's see what stupidity comes out of her mouth this time. Someone here says, Joy Reid thinks we bombed Iran to prevent them from having nuclear energy. It's possible to be is it possible to be this stupid? They have to be willingly lying to their audiences. So here's what Joy Reid said that, of course, is dumb because she tends to say stupid shit.
Why on earth is the United States bombing a country that did not attack us? What on earth are we doing there at all? And why is it that there is this arrogance in the West and in the United States to say that we get to decide who can have nuclear energy? We get to decide that. And why on earth is the United
The first point is not a terrible point. But the fact that she says, why is it for us to decide on whether or not they have nuclear energy? That wasn't the question. Okay. Yes. Why our arrogance of bombing people for out of the blue, we can have a discussion about that. But when she says it's about nuclear energy, she's stupid. Yeah, she is right about the arrogance. We do have a certain arrogance that we are allowed to just go do this stupid shit. Now someone says, Joy Reid says America doesn't have the moral authority to decide whether Iran has a nuclear program. I'm not. Let's see it again.
I find it rather extraordinary.
I want to hear what the response here is.
Casually having a conversation about the tactical success or failure of dropping a 3,000-pound bomb or two on a sovereign country that did not attack us. We are failing to unpack or even address, as we're discussing whether or not it was effective how we bombed Iran, whether Donald Trump was correct in saying we obliterated their facilities, and not asking why on earth is the United States bombing a country that did not attack us? What on earth are we doing there at all?
Which is a good question, but again,
why is it that there is this arrogance in the West and in the United States to say that we get to decide who can have nuclear energy? We get to decide that, and not just decide it. We get to act.
Is she intentionally clouding the question? And because she kind of blows up her own question with that. Go ahead and say whether or not they can have nuclear bombs. Say what it is. But by saying nuclear energy, she falsely softens the reasoning. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to she's changing the subject to make it seem even a worse argument.
Act on it and drop bombs on a country that didn't attack us. We had no business dropping bombs on Iran. And so the question of whether the tactic worked or not, to me, ignores the fundamental moral question at hand. And I think that I'm not alone probably among Americans who are saying that this was something.
But you changed the question, Joy. You intentionally changed the question, which that's the, and you know, a lot of people use the term straw man, right? A lot of people use the term straw man, which she just did. Straw man is when you make an argument that maybe is not what the person said, or you take the easiest thing to argue against and create this really weak argument, and you're basically putting words in people's mouths so you can knock it down. You can burn that straw up. And she completely changed the question from nuclear bombs to nuclear energy. Now, there's definitely an argument whether or not we should be policing people on their nuclear bomb programs, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? So she changed the question, and that's why it's so disingenuous of her, which is not unusual. Joy Reid might be the worst guest CNN's had on a show, and that's saying something. Let's see. There must be another clip here of her saying something stupid. Let's check this one.
So, I mean, there's that too.
It's huge. And no democracy. How about democracy? Why are we doing this? Because Israel has a democracy like the United States of America. Joy, the fact that you're backing a country
their democracy is not like the United States of America.
That slaughters people for their religious beliefs.
In the United States,
it's crazy that you're
people who are LGBTQ people can't even serve in the military under the president you prefer.
That's false. That is 100% false, Joy. Gay people can serve in the military, and nobody gives a fuck. And look, you know, granted, there's some people who are like, oh, gay people should be in the military. The military is not about who you're having sex with, but military readiness, as far as trans people, is a whole different issue. And there are certainly things that there's a whole bunch of people who can't serve in the military, usually for medical or mental reasons, and trans people have both. Whether you like it or not, they have both. People with asthma can't serve in the military either. Are we anti-asthmatics?
Okay, but
they are. I'm sorry. They're only a little bit. They're only a little bit discriminated against. They're allowed to live, but they're not allowed to serve in the United States military. They're being persecuted. They can't have their stories told in school.
Their stories? You mean the teaching kids, showing kids pictures of another kid giving a blowjob to his uncle? That's the story you want to tell? Give me a fucking break.
The United States is not exactly a beacon of human rights for gay people.
And why are you so concerned about gay people, Joy? You're the one who said disparaging things about gay people. Let's see. Arthur, and it made Joy Reid look very dumb. Zohran Mamdani will be a disaster for New York City. Is this the same clip?
What's your evidence that Mamdani would return New York City to the 1970s hellhole Times Square? What is your evidence of that?
Well, first of all, one of the things he wants to do is legalize sex work. So I'm sure Times Square will start filling up with hookers again. Now, some people like that idea, but, you know, it doesn't tend to make the neighborhood nicer.
So he wants to raise taxes on people who make the most money. What eventually is going to happen is you're going to lose that tax base. Once you lose that tax base, our bonds will get degraded. Now the city budget will not be substantial enough to subsidize not only the cops, but the fire department, the sanitation department.
The free buses.
Once you start losing Wall Street and people who pay $11,000, $12,000 a month to live on the Upper East Side, you're done.
Let me ask
and you go back to the 70s when Gerald Ford said to New York, drop dead.
Okay, but hold on, Arthur.
Crisis.
But Arthur, just as somebody who is just listening to you, you raise the taxes on wealthy people in this city, maybe a couple percent, right?
They're already at 50%.
Yeah, they're already
53%.
and that's exactly my point. They're already paying some of the high. I know, Arthur, but Arthur, they are already paying right at this moment some of the highest taxes in the country, and you think that 1 or 2% is going to cause a mass exodus out of New York?
But Anna just said it's correct. It already has started.
I just want to be clear that that's what you're saying, because I think that seems pretty extraordinary.
Because he's also not going to focus on crime. Right now you have Police Commissioner Tisch and John Chell, the chief of the department. Crime in the city of New York right now is set to break all records as the lowest ever in recorded history for shootings and murders. Once that starts going up in the other direction, and the tax base is gone, and sanitation is gone, and schools are gone.
Why would crime go up?
Okay,
Your
so
evidence.
All right. So anyway, that's why Joy Reid's trending, because she was on CNN talking Joy Reid. And there's another name for that. Also, Bernie Sanders is trending. Apparently he was on Joe Rogan or something yesterday or something, and he ended the interview early. I don't know why. Wowzers, did Bernie end the interview on Rogan early? Enjoy. Joe Rogan did a masterful pushback on Bernie when he tried to tie in the founding fathers with Trump attempting to be authoritarian, aka no kings. Bernie tried to say that Trump shouldn't be suing media companies. When Joe pressed him on exactly why he was suing them, Bernie was playing coy and saying CBS has a long storied history, because they changed the interview and tried to help Kamala Harris. He said, I know the Des Moines Register pollster, she's reputable. Who cares? Let's see. I can't play this clip. It's long. I'll have you watch it yourself. Yet when Joe says, you don't think editing an incoherent answer to make a cogent response for Kamala Harris is deceptive? Bernie all of a sudden just kept playing dumb and safe with, well, I don't know all the facts. Oh, yes, you do, Bernie, or you wouldn't have brought it up. Joe did his homework and said it in relation to the seltzer that having, that having someone winning can discourage turnout. Bernie exposed himself as an absolute snake liar. Seltzer said Harris would win Iowa by 3. Trump won by 13. He also pretended he didn't know that Stephanopoulos said the defamatory things about Trump. Then once he realized that Joe is no idiot, suddenly had to catch a plane. Joe Rogan interviews are usually 3+ hours long. This was almost 2. This is why leftists can't do podcasts unless it's a farce. I don't know what that means. But anyway, here's them discussing the need to raise the insanely low federal minimum wage. Oh, that's Bernie posted this, so he's going to post himself. Here's a clip. Let's see what
you have now. The concept. What it says is you're a billionaire. You have now the constitutional right, because your money is your freedom of expression, right? So you don't like Bernie Sanders?
Isn't it? I mean, I don't know.
You can put millions or hundreds of millions of dollars into a campaign and
Oh, you mean like some of your billionaires on the left do? You know their names.
Express your view about how terrible Bernie Sanders is,
right?
And you can buy that election, right? That's your constitutional right. Well, I think that's probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made. So what is the result of that decision?
So they shouldn't be able to?
The result of that decision, let's take us to where we are today.
Where Democrats get the most corporate money?
Elon Musk, and I know Elon was on your show, and he's here in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And we could talk about Elon, but he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president.
This is a paltry sum compared to the Pritzkers and
any one person.
He shall not be named.
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
They spent a lot of money on Harris as well.
They spent $1.5 billion just
combined
over the course of a couple of months.
You got it. All right, let me talk about it.
So money.
That's my point here.
Right.
Okay.
See, Joe wasn't having it. Joe's tired of, well, I don't know what Joe's tired of. But anyway, you can check out that. There's links to there in that topic subject. All right, so let's see. I think that's, I have a couple more notifications here. Let me thank some people real quick. We got that one. Thanks also to the people who mentioned the show on X, Soundable Nation. Thank you. I'm reposting you right now. And gave me, I know I'm late, Samuel. Thanks. Let's go. TikTok, motherfucker. That's funny. That's one of my favorites. And also retweeting my tweet of the show, and then also that. So there you go. All right, gang. Let me get rid of this and drop the links in the chat, and we're going to get out of here. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow, same time ish, same channel, of course. And I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday, hump day. And what the hell's going on here? Why aren't these popping up? Come on, let's go. I can't, there we go. I can't give you the links if they don't pop up in my feed. So there we go. All right. Here are today's links. Here are today's, God, my typing prowess is not very good. Links Okay, it's going to miss. I don't care. I'll spell it wrong. Who cares? There you go. There's today's links. I got to go. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Hope to see you tomorrow. Hit the like button before you go. Share the stream. Throw a couple of dollars in the tip jar every once in a while. You know the stuff. And that's it. I got to go. My name's PDawgKnight. And I am out of here, motherfucker. Bye-bye. See ya. Where's the thing? Here. End the show. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.